Something is happening inside the WNBA that no one in the league office wants to talk about, but every fan can see with their own eyes. The league is booming. Record viewership, record engagement, sold-out arenas, soaring merch numbers, and yet the very player responsible for this explosion is making less than the price of 2 courtside season tickets. The contradiction is almost unbelievable when you say out loud, but it's real, and Caitlin Clark is caught in the middle of it. Her impact is undeniable, and the numbers prove it every single night. But the gap between what she brings in and what she takes home is so wide that people are finally starting to ask questions the league isn't ready to answer. And it all started with one offhand moment that nobody expected to blow up. After a huge performance, Lexi Hull joked about buying season tickets for her family. It was meant to be lighthearted. Everyone was supposed to laugh and move on. But then Caitlin stepped in and quietly said the truth out loud. Those are pretty expensive. It's like our entire salary to get those. The room froze. Reporters paused. Players exchanged looks. Because that wasn't a joke. She was telling the truth. And in that moment, the entire conversation around WNBA pay changed forever. She didn't rant. She didn't call anyone out. She simply said the obvious thing everyone had avoided mentioning for years. And once she said it, the floodgates opened. Think about the numbers for a second. The Indiana Fever sold out every season ticket. Every single one. Their jersey sales skyrocketed by over 1,000%. Concession stands couldn't keep up with demand. They sold thousands of gallons of beer, triple hot dog sales, and set arena records that nobody thought a WNBA team could touch. Corporations scrambled to attach their names to anything related to Caitlin Clark. The Fever's corporate partnerships soared by more than 200%. And yet, through all of this, Caitlin Clark, the superstar drawing all these fans, makes a rookie salary of $76,000. Spread across a year, it doesn't even feel like professional athlete money. It feels like entry-level office money. And that's if the office doesn't mind you flying commercial and playing back-to-back games on no rest. That's the contradiction the league can't hide anymore. Caitlin's games dominate national TV, pulling in 2 million viewers on nights when the rest of the league barely scratches 500,000. When she's on the court, you can feel the electricity. When she's not, interest dips instantly. It's not a knock on other players. It's just the reality of what's happening. Her arrival created a shift in women's basketball, something bigger than one team or one rookie season. Whether people like her, love her, or love to hate her, everyone watches when she plays. But while she's lifting the league has struggled to lift her in return. That disparity shows up not just in her paycheck, but in how she's officiated, how she's targeted, and how she's treated by certain players. The third quarter technical foul against Seattle was the perfect example. Caitlin punched the basket stanchion after missing a shot, something we've seen countless NBA players do without consequence, and instantly got hit with a technical for disrespecting the game. The ref even repeated that phrase, disrespecting the game, as if the same game hasn't been underpaying and overworking its biggest star from the moment she walked through the door. Yet, Caitlin didn't complain. She took responsibility. She told reporters she expected better from herself, and even said the tech helped her refocus. That kind of composure is why people gravitate toward her. She brings accountability, leadership, competitiveness, and humility, all things fans want to see in a franchise face. But it also highlights the imbalance. She's doing everything right while absorbing pressure and criticism that would break most rookies. And then came the Olympic roster snub, another moment that reshaped the entire conversation around the league. Caitlin Clark isn't just a good player. She's a once-in-a-generation draw. Leaving her off the roster was a decision that confused fans around the world. Team USA is supposed to showcase the best talent and generate international excitement. Yet the player who broke every college viewership record and doubled WNBA ratings was staying home. Fans were stunned. And the worst part? The WNBA scheduled a brutal cluster of games around the same time, which many believe was a transparent attempt to maximize her visibility after the snub. It backfired. People saw through it immediately. But Caitlin responded the only way she knows how, by elevating her play. She returned from the break more locked in than ever, dropping huge performances, dominating stat sheets, and leading the Fever through games they had no business winning. At one point, she became the only rookie in league history to string together multiple 20-point, 10-assist games in a row. She shattered the rookie assist record and now has her eyes on overtaking Alyssa Thomas's all-time single-season assist total. It's become impossible to deny her impact. She's not a good rookie. She's one of the best point guards in the entire league, and the numbers prove it every night. But the bigger story is how players have reacted to her. Some have embraced her. Some have praised her leadership, humility, and unselfishness. But others have shown open resentment. The bump from Skylar Diggins-Smith during a dead ball was one of the most telling moments of the season. It wasn't basketball. It wasn't competition. It was frustration and pettiness boiling over. Fans noticed. Analysts noticed. And whether players want to admit it or not, these moments shape public perception of the league. And it didn't stop there. Seattle pulled their starters late in a game to prevent Caitlin from earning a triple-double. That's something you almost never see in professional sports. It was petty and transparent, and it told fans everything they needed to know about how threatened some players feel. The irony is that Caitlin's success helps everyone. Increased viewership means higher revenue. Higher revenue means better salaries, better travel conditions, and better future CBA negotiations. Caitlin Clark isn't taking from anyone. She's adding to the league in ways no one has since Diana Taurasi or Maya Moore in their primes. She is a rising tide that lifts all boats. But that message hasn't reached everyone. Some players are still stuck in a mindset that feels outdated, one where popularity is treated like favoritism and attention is treated like unfairness. But popularity isn't assigned. It's earned. Caitlin earned hers by dominating college basketball for 4 years, rewriting NCAA history, and bringing millions of fans into a sport most of them had never watched before. That's not a media creation. That's not hype. That's talent meeting opportunity. And when Caitlin used her platform to address travel issues, something veterans have tried to push for years, the league finally listened. Charter flights weren't approved until after she spoke publicly about flying commercial. That wasn't coincidence. That was influence. And she used it for everyone, not just herself. But perhaps the most frustrating part of this entire situation is the outdated collective bargaining agreement. The league signed a huge TV deal that could eventually reach $260 million per year, but salaries remained tied to a contract negotiated before Caitlin even entered the draft. Players today are generating revenue based on standards from years ago, and no group feels that more sharply than rookies. That's why debates about Rookie of the Year feel so small in comparison. Angel Reese has been phenomenal. There's no denying that. She's tough, physical, relentless on the boards, and a major part of why Chicago has stayed competitive. But Rookie of the Year isn't about who had a good season. It's about who changed the sport. Caitlin Clark isn't just winning games. She's shifting the entire direction of women's basketball. She's setting new expectations for what a rookie can accomplish, both on and off the court. She's dragging a franchise back into relevance while bringing millions of new fans into the league. Candace Parker had an incredible rookie year. Maya Moore won a championship as a rookie, but neither of them reshaped league economics in real time. Caitlin Clark is doing that, and the MVP conversation only highlights this further. Aya Wilson is still the best player in the league. She's dominant, consistent, and a generational defender. But the gap between her and Caitlin isn't as wide as people think, especially when you consider how much value Caitlin brings through playmaking, viewership, and leadership. Breanna Stewart is having an uncharacteristic slump, which narrows the field even more. If this were based purely on value to the league, not traditional stats, Caitlin might already be the most impactful player in women's basketball. Her leadership is another part people overlook. After Lexi Ho's breakout game, Caitlin turned her own press conference into a celebration of her teammate. She constantly praises Kelsey Mitchell's clutch performances. She uplifts the women around her instead of fighting for spotlight. That's why the Fever's culture is shifting so fast. Winning feels possible again, and the league has her to thank for that. But the deeper truth is this: the WNBA has reached a crossroads. They have momentum. They have mainstream coverage. They have fans showing up in record numbers. And they have a superstar who can carry the sport into a new era. But none of that will matter if they fail to support the players financially and structurally. They can't keep asking them to play back-to-backs on commercial flights, then wonder why injuries increase. They can't rely on a generational talent to grow the league, while paying her less than a mid-level assistant coach at a Division I school. If they fumble this moment, it won't come back. Superstars like Caitlin Clark don't arrive every decade. They arrive once in a generation. And right now, she's giving everything she has to push the league forward. The question is whether the league is willing to evolve with her. Because if they don't, someone else eventually will. Another league, another opportunity, another platform ready to treat her value like value, not a talking point. Caitlin Clark changed women's basketball without even trying to make a statement. She just told the truth. She pointed out what everyone already saw. And once the truth is said out loud, there's no going back. But here's the part that most fans still don't fully understand. Caitlin Clark didn't ask to become the face of this movement. She didn't campaign for it. She didn't come into the league demanding special treatment or spotlight. She came in ready to play basketball, ready to compete, ready to improve, and ready to help her team win. Everything else, the attention, the headlines, the debates, the pressure, got placed on her shoulders because she was the one who showed up and delivered. The league rode that wave because they had to, but they haven't yet adjusted the structural pieces that would make that wave sustainable. And that's where the next chapter of this story is heading. The truth is, the CBA won't change overnight. Salaries won't magically jump next season. Charter flights won't solve every travel problem. And players won't instantly stop taking cheap shots just because the spotlight exposes it. But what will change is the standard of what fans now expect from the WNBA. They've tasted what the league can look like when the product is compelling and the players are empowered. They've seen what happens when a player brings in millions of new viewers on her own. They've witnessed how one rookie can turn a struggling franchise into a national storyline. Once fans see that, they don't go back. They start demanding more. And that's the part players need to recognize. This isn't about jealousy. This isn't about who gets more media coverage. This is about survival. For years, fans begged for the WNBA to become culturally relevant. Now that it finally is, the league must keep up or risk losing everything they've built in the last 12 months. Caitlin Clark is a catalyst, but the responsibility belongs to everyone. The front offices, the coaches, the veterans, the rookies, and every league executive making decisions behind closed doors. If they refuse to evolve, the sport will stagnate again. If they embrace this moment, they can elevate women's basketball to a level nobody thought possible. Because here's the bigger truth. Caitlin Clark didn't just bring fans. She brought leverage. She brought pressure. She brought accountability. She forced conversations that were overdue. And once you force a conversation, you force change. And make no mistake, more changes are coming. The next CBA negotiation will be unlike any in league history. Salaries will be the centerpiece. Player conditions will be the centerpiece. Revenue sharing will be the centerpiece. And the reason these issues will be unavoidable is because Caitlin Clark walked into the league and made it impossible to ignore the gap between value and compensation. That's the legacy she's building already, not just as a player, but as a turning point. And years from now, when people talk about how the WNBA finally evolved into a major professional league, they'll look back at this season, this rookie year, this moment, and realize this is where everything started to change.